we are at Salt Basin Dunes in Texas. And if you notice, they're white, kind of like the white sands of New Mexico, because these are also made from gypsum. And at first glance, they might look like smaller and less impressive white sands than the New Mexican ones, and well, you would be right about that. However, these are interesting because they have their own fascinating geologic story. So we're going to go back to the Pleistocene, the Ice Age. And to the north, we had big glaciers covering the continent, but here we had a lake because it was cooler and it was wetter than it is today. And that lake was named Lake King, and it covered about 350 square miles and was as much as 35 feet deep. But when the Ice Age ended, the area got warmer and much, much drier, and that lake went away. And all we have left of that lake today are a few ancient shorelines that you can see in places, and then some playas, some salt pans to the south of here. And when the winds sweep across those salt pans where there's gypsum, it picks up those little gypsum crystals and carries them up here and deposits them against the mountains here. And we have a constant supply of gypsum from those salt pans because the groundwater is very, very shallow there, and evaporation creates something called capillary action, where water is actually pulled from the shallow groundwater to the surface where it evaporates. And that groundwater is very rich in dissolved gypsum because it travels through Permian-aged gypsum layers underground, and so it brings that ancient gypsum to the surface. Now, that wind is constantly blowing and bringing this gypsum here to create these beautiful sands piled up against those mountains. Now, those mountains are another part of the story. That is a Permian reef, and you'll see El Capitan prominently there, and also Guadalupe Peak, the highest point in Texas. And paleontologists from around the world come to take a look at this reef because it is the best preserved Paleozoic reef system in the world. And if you would have gone back to the Permian times, the deeper ocean was off that way. El Capitan was the front of the reef where the waves were pounding against it. You can even see broken bits of reef there called the fore reef talus. And as we work our way back, we get to the more protected back reef area that was teeming with life because it was protected from the pounding waves of that ancient ocean. And if you really want to see something, head that way into New Mexico and go underground at Carlsbad Caverns National Park. You will be walking in the limestone of that Permian reef. So a big story right here in Texas.